Welcome to the lesson on setting up job types for sales and cost of goods sold breakouts in the General Ledger. I'm currently in the General Ledger Center screen, and we're going to set up our job types table, which you access in the Accounts Setup window. So I'm going to click the Accounts button on the toolbar, and in the GL Chart of Accounts window, I'm going to click the Job Types button, where I can set up and edit the job types with their appropriate General Ledger departments and material, labor, direct, and cost of goods sold breakouts. As you can see from this top list here, I have already set up 3 job types, not only with their departments, but as you can see as I scroll to the right, with their material, labor, direct, sales breakouts to the separate sales accounts, the inventory account, and the cost of goods sold account that General Ledger can default things to as you process things through payroll, through accounts receivable, and through accounts payable. COBRA essentially uses this job types table to automate the process of creating these breakouts to these separate accounts and departments within accounts. So to set up a new account in here, we're going to work in these entry fields at the bottom of the screen. So we start in the job type field where the cursor is placed, and I'm going to enter a new job type. These are 2-character job types. For example, I want to enter a counter sales job type, so I'm going to enter CS for counter sales, and then when I hit enter, I can actually expand on the name of that job type. So I've written counter sales. Now if you're departmentalizing your General Ledger to get more detailed breakouts of your sales and cost of goods sold, you will see the departments that have already been set up in your chart of accounts appear in this GL department drop down. So I'm going to select 400 for this department. Now I can do some other things in here, like defaulting what price codes I might want to use with each individual job type for pricing out jobs later on. Otherwise I can leave that at R and have more flexibility later when I'm actually setting up a job. But for example, when you do new construction or contract work and you're always using the same markups for material and labor, you can preset that with the job type to override the price code that might be set up with the customer. But I'll just enter through these for now. The important part is these GL accounts, because as you begin using General Ledger and your accounts receivable is processed through to the General Ledger, COBRA will break out your sales into the individual material, labor, and direct accounts that you're directing them to here for that job type. So, for example, all my counter sales, I want them to go to my sales account, department 400. Now labor could go to the same account, or you can expand on this as greatly as you want to. It just depends on how your chart of accounts is set up. You could actually have a different sales account for your labor sales within a job type within department. So there's just no end really to how deep you want to break out your chart of accounts. Now for inventory purposes, you may or may not be using this, but we're requiring this setup at this point regardless of whether you're going to use it or not. If you're not going to use the inventory portions of our programs, then these last 2 accounts, the inventory and the cost of goods sold accounts, are really immaterial. But payroll will use the cost of goods sold accounts as a default account for breaking out your costs by these different departments anyway, so you might as well get them set up. So once you've defined these accounts, you can click the Save button, and at that point it will appear in the top list here. So if you wanted to edit these, you could double click on one, and in these entry edit fields you can change any of the values and just resave that account. And once you resave it, you can see that the changes took place as you scroll to the right to look at all the information available for that line. So this is very simple to do. It's very quick, but this will really help you later on in automating the breakouts of sales and cost of goods sold throughout the entire program. This ends the lesson on setting up job types in the general ledger.